immigration reset. According to the Financial Post, 2 million people are expected to leave the country in Canada's immigration reset. What if they don't? Economists and lawyers warn that Ottawa's goal to curb population growth in such a short time will create chaos and confusion in a system already on the edge. And here's an example of someone who's kind of going through this. Despite moving to Canada from India in 2018 as an international student and receiving a work permit upon graduating 2 years later, Dinesh lives in Ontario today as a visitor, even though that was obviously not the original plan. But with no other way to extend his stay in Canada after the expiry of his work permit in July, the 25-year-old decided to convert his status by applying for a visitor visa. I did that to stay a little bit longer with hopes of qualifying for an immigration draw, he said. I am doing my best to learn French and improve my immigration points so that I can somehow, some way be saved and can stay here rather than going back. Being classified a visitor though comes with its own set of problems, as Dinesh has learned in the past 6 months. He can't work on a visitor permit, so he has had to cut down on his spending and now lives in a shared apartment as opposed to living on his own previously. Many others are in the same boat, raising concerns about both their welfare and whether the government's immigration cutbacks will have any real effect.
Well, damn. At least the guy's trying. He's trying to learn French.
You know, that's like a really big thing now. I've seen a bunch of Instagram videos of like I would think they were students, but they've learned French and now they're teaching other people to learn it because they think it's going to help them.
But I don't think it'll help with your PR, right?
I think it gets them certain points, right? Where like
jobs want it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I look at this, right? Like, I don't know how you feel about the whole situation. I look at this when I read this.
Yeah.
And I think somebody who exposed a loophole to come to Canada in the first place, right? Now, instead of just studying here, right? And what usually the case is that they'll say something like, you know, we were tricked into this, or, you know, we thought we were going to stay here. And that's why we did it, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That happens,
yeah.
right? But when you come over as a student, right, with every intention to stay in the country, if what you're doing didn't work, your investment didn't work, the loan that you took to get here didn't work, that was your risk.
Yeah.
Right? So I would assume, like, if I invest in anything, it's a calculated risk, right? There's no guarantee that I'm going to get X amount in return, right? I'm taking a calculated risk. That's an investment in their future. And if their risk was that, okay, we're going to be students, you get visas, and this is how it works, and we're going to exploit this loophole, and then it worked for X amount of people, and then eventually it was like, this isn't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
You get this.
Yeah.
Right? And then a lot of them then continue to complain.
I kind of feel bad for some of them.
Why?
The ones that have been here for so long and they work here, they've built a life here, and now they're just going to be sent back. Like, I know I was on the other side of it where I was like, there's so many students, there's so many people.
Yeah.
But maybe I was just thinking about the ones that I feel like don't want to go to school. They're not in real programs. But like the people that
come with good intentions, you're saying, right?
Yeah. Like our parents came here with good intentions, right? Yeah. Imagine somebody was like, after living here for 10 odd years, go back.
Yeah, but your parents didn't come here by exploiting something to be a student.
That's the thing, right?
Right? This loophole.
No, for sure.
This loophole's been open for the last few years.
Yeah.
And this is an example of bad government immigration policy, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. I have been on that side of it too, but now when I see that so many people are going to be sent back, I don't know if they're actually going to.
I mean, like the article was addressing it. I think if both things, like if somebody even comes here with good intentions or not, they did uproot their whole life. They probably spent a lot of money, sold off a lot of things, their businesses, land, whatever they had at home to do this. So you've sacrificed so much. So they're going to find workarounds, like this visitor visa thing, this Dinesh, he was doing, right?
Yeah, some people, it's not even their family that sent them. They've had to like get people around them to lend them money.
So you put in all your chips on the table, right? So you're going to do whatever the hell you can do to stay here.
And then while they're here, what I don't get, while they're here, they'll talk about Canada needs us for X, Y. Like, if you do hate it so much, right, and you're going to say all those things, then why are you even here, right? So they kind of are on the both side of the fence, right?
Yeah.
And then when you do this, like you're gonna get a lot of people who the unemployment rate's already at 6.8% that we saw.
Yeah.
Right. Inflation went through the roof.
Yeah.
Right. And if you keep getting an influx of immigrants, what are you gonna get? It's gonna add more to that.
Even the population is up like over past few years, like 6 million.
Yeah, sick for you. Want to pull up a chart of Canada's population growth? Yeah, look at that.
It's at 41 mil.
It's at 41 million, right? And from look at about like 2019, right? It's sitting around what is that? 37 in 2018, 2019, and look at the steep jump from like 2022 to 2024. It went from 39 to almost like 2 or 3 million in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
That's more than like what we were ready for, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think on the flip side of it, like I can understand feeling bad for them, but on the flip side of it, you're overloading the system.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of related to, you know how Trump's trying to get rid of criminals?
Yeah.
But you can't really pick and choose. You don't know who's kind of a criminal and who's not. He's just going to send them all back.
Yeah.
It's like similar. You can't pick and choose who, or you don't know who's like actually here.
It's like
trying to work, trying to build our economy.
Yeah.
You're just going to send them all back. But then like you kind of have to do it like that, right?
It's like the bad ones ruin it for everybody,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's how it always is.
The wild thing is that you're not technically, if you're a student here, you're not technically supposed to come and live here. That's not
you're here to study. And
for sure. I've even seen recent videos of students just saying, well, we're going to be sent back anyway, so we're just going to have fun for the next couple of months.
Oh my God.
So create more havoc,
Does that
right?
help?
Yeah, well, there you go, right?
Yeah.
Like that's going to help everyone in everyone's case
I mean,
when you do that.
there's an argument too that the jobs, like, sure, unemployment is up like 2% over the past couple of years, almost at 7 now. There's an argument that I've seen being made that they're working jobs that nobody like is seeking out anyway.
For sure.
Like at Tim Hortons, McDonald's, and stuff.
Well, the issue with that, I feel like, is you get minimum wage going up. There's still inflationary pressures, right? So even though that argument could somewhat be correct, I felt like a lot of people on TikTok, Instagram, they're kind of making these videos like, hey, you guys don't want to work at Tim Hortons anyways, right?
Yeah.
But still, right? Like if that influx of people didn't come in, right, and it was happening slowly, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right? But you're going to get 2 million people over the last 2 years. There's not, like, where are they going to live?
Yeah.
Right? Where are they going to live? They're going to live in these houses where people make them basically into like 8-unit rentals in a house that's supposed to be just a single family
Sticking
home.
like 4 or 5 people in each room.
Charging each person $500, trying to make $6,000-$7,000 a month off of a basement.
Look
like,
at that though. Even like people that live here and they just take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, that is capitalism,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're going to give somebody an opportunity to make money, right, they're going to act on it,
Right.
right?
They're going to exploit it.
For sure. Why wouldn't they? Right? I mean, to me, I just see this and I feel like it also, like the thing that most people don't talk about, it adds to hatred for immigrants in general, right?
Yeah.
Because you're overloading the system.
Yeah.
And now you're going to get a lot of people who have more of a hatred towards immigrants than they did previously.
Because there's more of them to hate, right?
Not only that, like they are, like people will feel like they're taking their jobs, even if they're not. Even if you don't want to work at Tim Hortons, when
You just see them
you go
more.
there and you see students working at Tim
I think
Hortons,
a larger problem is they don't really assimilate well either.
that's also the case.
It's like you're in a new culture, a new society. You got to adapt to the way
Yeah, they
that
just want to bring their country's
here.
values here to be exactly.
Which is like, I feel like there's a little bit of give and take there, right? You bring
Definitely.
I'm not saying anyone in
Like
Canada, Canada's,
we're cultured too. We
Yeah,
came
you
from
shouldn't
another
forget your culture, but
yeah, Canada's a melting pot, right? So we have different religions, every different race here, right?
yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you guys are saying, if you don't want to assimilate whatsoever, right? And you want to turn this into the place that you came from, then why even come?
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Like
You
then
came
if
here to
that's
seek a different life.
right,
a new
if you like what Canada has to offer, then assimilate somewhat,
yeah.
right? adapt to your
They need to
surroundings.
learn that from somewhere, though.
I think it's this influx again, bad immigration policy, influx of immigrants, too many at once. Nobody's having the time to adapt to it, assimilate. They don't see how things are done. Instead, they run into each other all the time.
The
right?
comment
And they-
sections on these videos are hilarious, man.
Yeah, because who's gonna feel bad? Oh no.
It's
No.
real.
They need deodorant.
Not to mention the crime that's gone up, right?
Yeah.
And like, I know people like to think it's not immigrants. It is, right? Like I even read today, this has nothing to do with students,
Yeah.
but apparently there's been South American crime rings that have been breaking and entering in Oakville for years now.
Chile, right?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Chile.
Yeah.
Right? So like you read things like that and then you see numerous videos of people just breaking and entering houses. Canada used to never be like that.
Yeah.
Where people bravely just go while people are home.
Right.
Right? They're just trying to steal their cars or whatever's in the house.
Yeah, it's
scary.
weird. I saw some in Markham too.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
just breaking into somebody's business.
Yeah. There's that too.
Just while
All
they're
these
there.
jewelry
It's like the
store
fear is
robberies
gone.
in like
Yeah, they're so
Broad
bold.
daylight.
They're so
Yeah,
brave. They just
right?
walk in, smash the windows. I saw one though. They tried to rob a jewelry store and the jewelry store was empty. So
yeah.
they just had to break all the windows and leave.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's smart. Okay, so let's move on to